Okay, I start with the question, what is the most important thing for you in this world? And usually Thai people answer something like family. So I ask them, why are the people in our family so important to us? Because we love them. Okay, so love is most important. This is actually reflected in our culture. So many of our songs are about love. We watch movies with love stories in it, and we all long to have someone who loves us, a partner. So yeah, love is really the most important thing because we long for love. We long to love someone else. And why is that? Because the one who created everything, the one who called everything into existence, he himself is love. God is love. So I am talking about the one who brought everything into existence, who created the world, the cosmos, all humans, all animals, and all that stuff. Some call him Prajao, some call him Ong Saksit Heng, Ong Saksit Sungsut. Yeah, so this God, he is love. And love and because he created everything, he is the king over everything. Um, he owns everything and he is the king over everything. And he created the spirits, the spirit world, to serve him, to work together with him. But 1/3 of the angels rebelled against him. They rebelled and turned away from God and became evil spirits. That's where the evil spirits come from. So we said earlier that God is love because love wants to share its love with others. So God made us humans to share his love. He made us to love us and to be being loved by us because love wants to share its love with others. So he is like a good father, and we are his children. And we don't need to fear him because he has only good plans for us. So he made us to be his children, and he made us to reflect him. Just like my children reflect some part of me, people look at my children and they say, oh, they have the same nose as you. And that's the same. We were made so that people look at us and see God in us, that we, like a mirror, reflect God's beauty. And he made us, he is king, and we are his children. So we are princes and daughters, princes and princesses. So he made us to co-rule this world together with him. He put us in charge of this world, to rule this world in his way of love. Because he's love, we rule not in a way of tyranny or oppression, but in a loving way. If all of that is true, why then do we have suffering in this world? Why does life suck so often? Well, because we did the same as the spirits. Inspired by the spirits, we rebelled against God. We turned away from him, and because of that, we came under the authority of these evil spirits. We became enslaved to them. And now we are stuck. We are stuck in this world filled with suffering. We are stuck in this place being under the authority of evil spirits. And that is pretty much the thing that Buddha realized, and the thing that Buddha describes in his most important teaching, the Arya Satsi, the Four Noble Truth. He is saying, well, all of this world is filled with suffering. And the source of our suffering are our desires. We want to be our own lords, our desires. They burn like a black fire in our heart. But there is one place without suffering. There's one place without pain and suffering. And this place is, the perfect city, the golden city. And there is a way to going there. And this way is the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path means to always do the right thing, think the right thing, say the right thing, and so on. Pretty much being perfect. So how are you doing? Can you fulfill the Eightfold Path? Do you always think the right thing, do the right thing, say the right thing? I certainly cannot. I'm far away from being perfect. So no matter how hard I try on my own, I can't find freedom from this slavery to the evil spirits by myself. God saw that, and even though we rebelled against him, he still loves us. So in his great mercy, he decided to rescue us. He promised from the very beginning of time that he would free us from the slavery to the evil spirits. And he himself came into this world. He was born into an Asian family. His parents gave him the name Jesus. And he lived here in this world. And 2,000 years ago, and he showed us what it means to follow the way of love. Everything he did was inspired by love. He showed us what God truly is like. And he freed people from the slavery to the evil spirits. He freed people from disease, from death, and he showed us power over everything. And he lived a perfect life. Everything he did was good. He had only merit, he had no karma. But the religious leaders of his time, they hated him because they were hypocrites, and Jesus criticized them for that. So they made plans to kill him, even though he never did anything wrong. Jesus had enough power to stop them, but he decided to lay down his own life because he knew this was the only way to free us from the oppression of the evil spirits. So they killed him a very violent death, and he surrendered his life. He gave it for us. So he died. He was dead for 3 days. But his power was so strong that he defeated death. He defeated the plans of the evil spirits. And he came back to life, and he appeared to 500 and more people. And these people have written down what they have experienced. So that is why we know that this is true, because we have these writings. And he shared with his people that he now opened a way for everyone in this world to again have a relationship with God, to go back to that place of having an intimate relationship with God as Father and being free of the slavery of the evil spirits. So he made a way for everyone, and his plan is to restore the whole cosmos, to make everything in this world right again. And he knows that we can't do that by ourselves. We are weak. We can't save ourselves. So when we follow Jesus, he promised that he will give us his good spirit, the spirit of truth, who will free us from lies that we believe about ourselves, and that will help us being good people. When we work together with this good spirit, then he will free us from our slaveries, and he will enable us again to follow his way of love. But the truth is, God is not like some dictator. He does not force us, because true love gives freedom to choose. So everyone needs to decide who should be Lord of everyone. Every person needs to decide who should be Lord of their heart, of their life, because God will not force himself on us. He gives us freedom, so we can keep in our rebellion, we can stay in our rebellion against him, or we can decide to make him Lord of everything. Making him Lord of everything means we need to make a change in our life. We need to turn away from our selfish way, from these evil desires in our heart, and we need to follow his way of love. That is what repentance means. And when I say we need to make Jesus Lord of our life, I want to compare it with a house. Our life is like a house with many rooms. We have the room of finances, how we deal with money. We have the room how we deal with our spouse, with our children. We have the room of how we treat our body, and how we spend our time. These are all different areas, all different rooms in our life, and they can be under several rulership. So if I open one area of my life to the evil powers, they will rule in this life. If I for example, open my room of sexuality to a lot of porn, then I give the evil powers authority to rule in this area of my life, and they will bring destruction and death to this area of my life. So To follow Jesus means to make him Lord of every area, of every aspect of our life, step by step. Step by step, we go through the rooms and we cast out the evil spirits and make Jesus Lord of the house so he can bring restoration to our lives. And I that is my life's experience. If you look at my family, you will say that I have a very warm family. I have a healthy family, and this is not because I am awesome, but this is because Jesus in me. He helps me to love my wife well. He helps me not to have an affair. He helps me, gives me wisdom to raise my kids and to love them when they bug me. And without Jesus, I would be just like every other, like so many other men. I would sleep around. I would be a drunkard. I would I would be really bad to my family. I wouldn't care for them, but it's Jesus who enables me to love my family well. It's his spirit who lives in me. But Jesus is not only for Farangs. He's not the Farang God. He's the God of the whole world. So I have tons of testimonies here on this YouTube channel where you can listen to how Thai people experience Jesus in their life. But when we decide to follow Jesus, it doesn't mean that our lives will be perfect without problems. So actually, we still will have suffering in our lives because our lives are broken and we live in a broken world. But the Japanese, they have this ancient ritual of when a vase or something else broke, they would fix it with gold, just like here in the picture. So that is what God wants to do. He wants to fix our broken lives. He wants to heal our broken hearts so that our lives are become even more valuable. And he is there in the dark times, in the difficult times with us, and he speaks to us and gives us guidance and strength to go through these times, because he's like a loving father who really loves us and takes good care of us. Maybe you think that if you want follow Jesus, you need to go to church on Sunday. That's not true. You can follow Jesus without going to church, but it is very important that we have friends who know Jesus and that we meet together and talk together to help each other to get to know God better. So um, there's a book called the Bible, and the Bible has many stories about God that help us to get to know God better. So it's a good thing to meet with other believers and discuss these stories from the Bible so we can all grow together to Jesus and get to know him better. That doesn't need to be in church. That can be anywhere. It can be at your house. It can be at a cafe, wherever. What is important is spending time together as believers and helping each other grow closer to Jesus. There's a ritual, it's called the water ritual, that you can do that helps you get started in your relationship with Jesus. It's just a ritual we do that shows that when we follow Jesus, he washes us clean from all the darkness in our path. He gives us a new life, which is free from all the bad stuff in our former life. It's a beautiful ritual, and I'm happy to do it with you. If you have questions about it, you can ask me. Right. So Jesus invites us to, again, follow his way of love. And if we become his children, if we make Jesus Lord, then he gives us, again, authority to rule this world together with him, because he wants to partner with us in ruling this world. We are co-rulers with God. He gave us, he put us in charge of this world. So he wants to work together with us in healing this broken world and bringing healing to broken people, to help people out of the pit they are in. We are his hands and feet in this world. He calls us to be messengers of reconciliation, to bring his good message to people and help them out of the darkness they are in, because Jesus is the light of this world, and we know it, and we love to share this hope that we have. And he promised us that one day he will restore everything and he will again set up his kingdom perfectly, and we will live with him eternally in a world without suffering, in a world of beauty and perfection. So this is the hope we have, even though in this world we might face difficulties. In the future, God will set everything right, and that is the hope that we have. And this is really good news. And I invite you to believe in these good news, and make Jesus Lord of your life, because he is worth our love and our obedience.